Friends, we had a very humble beginning. We had, means our WGU, had a very humble beginning of scholarships to the deserving students way back in 1934. Those days, we started by giving grants of rupees 50 and rupees 25 to the students to help them fulfill their dreams in education. And today, I'm very proud to say that we give scholarships to 68 students amounting to rupees 11 lakhs 35,000. Although we received more than 100 applications in different streams. We have awarded scholarships for a vast range of subjects like MBBS, PhD, research and medicine, company secretary, chartered accountants, law, different streams of engineering, accounting, science, arts, commerce, and professional courses in nursing and fresh teachers training, and diploma in patisserie. We have come a long way and have been able to help many deserving and needy students in their journey towards education. This has been due to the tireless efforts of the members in procuring handsome donations and disbursing them appropriately to the best deserving students. I will be failing in my duty if I do not recognize and thank our donors and their families who gave handsome donations towards these scholarships. Out of the accumulated interest every year, we disperse the funds. My profound thanks to late Shanta Bandarkar and Maya Shivdasani, late Miss Bachu and Dan Pantaki and their family, Mrs. Dino Dubash, Miss Meena and Dr. Leela Advani, Dr. Meera Damodar, and our own member, Mrs. Kunda Natkar and Professor Savita Chugani. This year too, we got the donations from our members worth rupees 5 lakhs 15,000. Our very own members came forward and gave their donations, and I sincerely thank them on behalf of Women Graduates Union for supporting the cause of promoting education to the weaker sections of the society. Girls are not encouraged to study, especially in higher education classes, but it is rightly said that the country progresses when the girls are educated. WGU has always promoted education for the weaker section of the society, and awards are based on marks and financial status of the students' families. Most of them come from humble backgrounds who often take loans from their family members and friends to finance higher studies. And it is really heartening to note their intentions to forge ahead in life. Many of them are first generation literates and come from a very modest family background. Our aim is to motivate, inspire women in life, long learning because every day offers a very good opportunity. We have always felt that no meritorious student should be deprived of quality education because of a financial limitation. Friends, I thank my committee members, Sheila Shastri, Dolly Sagar, Usha Bandarkar, Kashmira Mehromji, and Nandita Singh for their wholehearted support and guidance towards the success of the scholarship function. I also wish to record my thanks to staff members, Mr. Kaustup, who worked very hard throughout and stood next to me, Mrs. Akanksha Kadam, Mr. Visvi Driver, and Mrs. Arshi Remani, and our office person, Mr. Deepak Pawar, for their full cooperation. They have all worked very hard, and the committee has been impressed by their performances. Thank you for using your skills to fuel our mutual efforts, dear staff members. With these words, WGU is actively furthering its goal of women's empowerment. This is and will always be our aim, vision, and mission. Thank you. Now, may I request Usha Bhandarkar to please introduce our chief guest. Thank you.
All of you have already read about Kiran in the invitation which came to you, but I'm going to tell you my viewpoint of Kiran. I have known Kiran for 35 years, and he has always been an unstoppable guru. He juggles 3 passions, 1 career. He's an author, educator, and communicator. And you are ever grateful for the knowledge he leaves you with. Every conversation you have with Kiran, be it long or short, leaves you with invaluable insight. What you learn today will have an exponential input on your future. And one thing I can assure you is that you will remember the session for a long, long time, maybe even for your lifetime. So now, without much further ado, let me hand you over to Kiran, who's all ready now to lead us from darkness to light.
Thank you, Usha.
Thank you, everybody. Good morning to WGU. Thank you to WGU for inviting me. Thank you to the trustees for all the great work that this institution has done since 1915. Congratulations on all the 7 initiatives that you all have undertaken. And I have to thank first Usha Bhandarkar, who was my first guru in advertising. You see, I was a school teacher for 4 years before I joined advertising, and I felt like a cultural misfit until, of course, I met Usha, who reassured me that my middle class background, my understanding of Hindi, Marathi, Sanskrit was actually an asset in advertising and not a liability. So thank you, Usha, for being there since 1983. I also want to congratulate all the scholars. I believe there are close to 14 PhDs in the 54 scholarships that have been given out this year. It's a remarkable achievement. The only other PhD I know in my family is my sister. I'm a mere BSc graduate, merely passed BSc. So as I keep saying, I told when Usha invited me, I told her yes. I specialize in making my ignorance public. So here I am making my ignorance public once again in front of an extremely august audience. To the scholars, to the winners, I have one request. This session is about you. This session is not about me. So the way I have arranged for it is I will speak only for 5 or 6 minutes and leave the rest of the time for you to ask questions. You can ask questions in English. Marathi विचारायचं असेल तर मराठीत विचारा. आपको हिंदी में प्रश्न पूछना है तो हिंदी में पूछिए, लेकिन पूछिए जरूर. Because every single time you ask a question, it enriches me. It makes me think. So let me begin with the topic that I gave this little presentation, which is why lead a second-hand life. Second-hand life is a phrase I learned from one of my teachers. So it's a phrase that J. Krishnamurti used to use, a second-hand life. Now, what really is the meaning of second-hand life? Uska matlab kya hai? A second-hand life is an unquestioned life. So the next question you are going to ask is, what is the meaning of unquestioned life? Unquestioned life means we haven't examined the ideas that have been given to us. We have accepted it. Next question is, what is an idea? An idea is something that we cannot see, touch, feel, smell, experience. So an idea is something that exists inside the 1,000 cubic centimeters of our brain. What are the ideas that we have not questioned? One idea, of course, that all of you scholars, all of you trustees have already questioned and gone beyond is the idea that women can't be equal to men. That you have already proven. You have already proven that women can be equal to men in every aspect of life. That is an idea that you have questioned and gone beyond. I have had the fortune of and the privilege of meeting in person, two women who questioned that idea. One was Indira Gandhi in 1981, I think, and one was a lady called Arunima Sinha. You all know Indira Gandhi, of course, the first female prime minister, but I don't know how many know Arunima Sinha. So Arunima Sinha was a volleyball player, and in 2011, while she was traveling by train, these thieves wanted her gold chain that she was wearing. She refused, and she was pushed out of a running train. She lay there for several hours, bleeding, both her legs broken. And finally, when she was saved, she was left with one broken leg and one leg with steel in it. And she decided that the best way to prove that she is equal to those men who made that happen to her was to do something that they would not be able to do. And she ended up in the next 1 year in climbing Everest. So she became the first woman amputee to climb Everest in that situation. She was the first ever in the world. So these are examples of women who have questioned ideas about equality. What are the other ideas that we do not question or normally do not question? ऐसी कौन सी संकल्पनाएं हैं जिसको हम लोग जांच परख के नाही देखते? अशा कुठल्या कल्पना आहेत की ज्या आपण पारखून घेत नाही? One normally is the idea of success. Somebody has told us that success means money, flats, cars, flights to exotic locations. But you examine it, you look at it, and you realize that not everybody who is happy is successful, and not everybody who is successful is happy. So you question that idea and you realize that there is a lot that needs to be understood, that success is not as simple as it seems. What are the other ideas that we have? What about most Indians have been told about caste, that you belong to this caste and you belong to that caste. But examine it, look at it. The person from the other caste has the same blood, has the same heart, has the same desires. Really, there is the idea of caste exists only in our head. It is not something that can be experienced. आप उसको caste या जात को आप जांच परख के नहीं देख सकते. वो हमारे जैसा ही इंसान है. Are there other ideas that, there is another idea called society. हम लोग को हमेशा कहा जाता है कि लोग क्या कहेंगे, what will people say? But look at it carefully, that what is society? Can you see society? No. At most, it is your chachi or mami or chacha who is going to criticize you. लोग क्या कहेंगे का मतलब यही है कि जो लोग हमको जानते हैं वो क्या कहेंगे. People who don't know us in society really do not bother what we are doing. So these are some of the ideas. All of you being intelligent are going to say, but Kiran, there are very useful ideas. There are ideas like innovation. Yes, those are ideas that are useful. But the ideas that we use in personal life, those are divisive. They end up dividing us from each other. They end up making us unhappy. They end up making us the idea of comparison. When we are in school or even sometimes our own parents, they compare us to others. उसकी handwriting देखो और आपकी handwriting देखो. वो देखो कितना अच्छा maths पढ़ता है और आप देखो कैसे पढ़ते हो. But this is of no use because you might be great at music. Somebody else might be great at being an athlete. So the idea of comparison again divides us. It makes us small. It makes us not who we are. Finally, since I have only 1 minute left, the most important idea, the most divisive idea we have, and I have to be careful here because this is a big leap I'm taking, is the idea of I. When we say, I believe this, I believe that, if I force you to close your eyes and say, okay, can you show me this I? Can you touch I? Can you feel I? Can you smell I? Can you hear I? And the answer is no. It is again an idea, like the idea of caste, the idea of success. I is not something that you can see, feel, or touch or experience. It remains an idea in our head, but it separates us from everybody else. This is me, and that is somebody else. This is me, and that is somebody from Pakistan. This is me, and that is somebody from another caste. What happens when we examine these ideas, when we look at them closely? What happens is we become free of them. We become liberated from them. We are no longer bound by small ideas that divide us from the rest of the world. So that's all I have to say. It's time for questions. I invite all the scholars or even anybody else in the audience to ask questions. If you feel like you don't want to ask a question, you can write to me at kirankhalap@gmail.com, and I'll make sure that I will reply to that. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you. Kiran, before we let you go, we know that you're a great believer in meditation.
Yes.
That you begin your day with meditation, and after that you can handle anything. So if meditation is a life enriching tool, why aren't we taught that in colleges and in school? Why?
Yeah. It's a beautiful question. One is that it is not taught in the modern education system. If you look at India as a civilization, leave us a nation. If you look at it as a civilization, meditation was an intrinsic part of schools and colleges and even higher universities. In the school that I taught in, the J. Krishnamurti school, whether it was the Rishi Valley school or the Rajghat Besant school, meditation was an essential part of the school. At the end of the day, children were encouraged to look within. Even the way, for instance, I taught botany, for instance, I would just give a sheet of questions to the children saying, okay, go out, and remember that these schools are beautiful places, right? This particular school I was teaching in had two rivers, not one. There was one river which was 1 kilometer wide. There was another river which was short and swift. So there was Varuna and the Ganga. And this beautiful campus, so the children would go out. That 45-minute class did not have me writing anything on the board. So I would say, go out and find out the smallest leaf and the largest leaf. Do not pluck leaves. Find out whether all leaves are green or there are other colors. What are the other colors? If the leaves are green, are they green on top and dark green at the bottom, or dark green on top and light green at the bottom? What are the shapes of the trees? Can you classify those shapes? So you see what actually was happening, and here's how I sum it up, that if I teach you to learn about the outer world by observation, there is a greater chance that you learn about the inner world through observation and not through dogma, not through an idea, not through the idea that this is truth and this is reality. Instead of that, if I teach you, it becomes a habit to learn about the outside world by observing about it. What does this leaf look like? What does the bird look like? What does the sun look like? Then there is a better chance that you will look at the inside world through observation. You can look at your thoughts. You can look at where your anger is arising. You can look at where your depression is arising. And if you look at the current statistics in India, of course, there are many enriching statistics, but what the COVID thing has done is increased mental instability. The number of youngsters who are facing anxiety and depression is higher than the number of older people. My belief is that if these poor children had been taught to look at this, to study this, I have personally talk to people and help them do this thing by themselves, to slow down their thinking, to sit in one corner, to think about the moment at the moment. What is it to live in the now? And I know that it actually helps people to get over their anxiety, their depression. We used to run a project called, which is a mind-body workshop. We used to do that, called Center of Gravity. And I know that in that workshop, people actually, I know one youngster who got over his stuttering. He had been stuttering and stammering for 36 years. But the moment we put him through this workshop where he faced this incidence of, or the actual event of stammering, when he saw where it arose, it got dissolved and he stopped stammering for the rest of his life. So again, to look at what is happening, if you look at not just schools, and some schools have started adopting it, but certainly the corporate world, the world over, has started adopting mindfulness practices. So some of the biggest companies, whether it is Google or Accenture, now have separate time for mindfulness practices. They actually give you time off to practice mindfulness because they realize that it leads to greater harmony, greater cohesion, lower attrition, people leaving jobs. All of that goes down if you look at, for instance, the origin of Vipassana in Burma. U Ba Khin is a gentleman who resurrected Vipassana in Burma. He was the first Attorney General of Burma. And he told the government that I will take up this job of being an Attorney General if you allow me to teach Vipassana after office hours, after 5. And they said, okay, no problem, go ahead and do it. And then a remarkable thing happened. The government realized that after 6 months of this practice, the corruption in the department had gone down to 0. And therefore they said, now, okay, so you teach all government departments this Vipassana practice. When I first went, I think in 2003 or 2004 to Nasik to study it, I realized that there were 2 queues. One was for government servants and one was for general public. And I asked these people, why is there a separate queue for government servants who want to do Vipassana? And they said, the government realizes, the Indian government, that when they do Vipassana, corruption levels drop. So those who have done Vipassana have a better chance of being promoted faster. It has also been done in jails, and even in jails, people know that it has helped people bring down violence, bring down in fights about between inmates. There is now scientific proof. There is a lady from Australia, the first women Nobel Prize winner. I don't remember her name. I think Blackthorn or whatever that name is. So if you Google first lady and you Google this word telomeres, for instance. So telomere is the end of the DNA. And the our bodies change cells every day, right? So the lining of the stomach changes every day. Our skin cells change every day. Now, every day when these cells reproduce, the DNA in that gets divided and the telomere gets shortened. And there is a particular point at which the telomere becomes so short that it sends a signal to the cell that it's time to now stop dividing. That is old age. That is when you get wrinkles like I have. That the cell has been told that now you can no longer divide because it is old age has come in. And now there is proof. So she actually did this research and found out that meditation stops telomeres from shortening. It is direct correlation. It is no longer a hypothesis. There is direct proof that people who meditate have lower chance of senescence because the telomeres don't shorten as fast. Sorry, that's a long answer to a short question.
At what age would children be encouraged to do that? To look, at the world and examine it on its own without your hand holding?
Roughly, I think by age 7 is when children start having a huge vocabulary. 7 would be the right age. Maybe 10 would be ideal. So in class 5, you're already ready to start that meditation.
Okay. Okay, and one more question, Kiran. I know that you mentioned that you should do what you love. That is very important if you want. But there are often family or financial problems, and you have to compromise. So what then do you do? What then do we do?
Yes, very good question again. So there is this very often you'll hear many icons, famous people saying you should follow your passion, and there are many things that you can question about. One of the things is quite a lot of people don't even know what they want, what they love, right? They discover it much later. So that is one scenario. The second scenario is you know what you love, but you're, as you say, you're compromising. Your family is dependent on you. You might be the only breadwinner in the family, and you can't go and become a mountaineer. You can't go and become a National Geographic photographer because you have to become a chartered accountant and earn money. According to me, there are 2 or 3 things. There is an option that you follow what you love after you have finished fulfilling the responsibility. So if you take this artist called Paul Gauguin, he was a chartered accountant, and at age 45 or 50, after he had looked after the family, etc., he went into Hawaii or wherever, Tahiti or wherever he did, and he started painting only by himself. So that is one option where you, at the end of having done your responsibilities, you undertake. The second option is to do it while you're doing. So I do the rock climbing thing even while the rest of the 6 days of the week I'm doing my work. I'm looking after the families of 30 people in chlorophyll. But at the end of that week, I'm able to do it. That is second option. The third option is you do it every day. I know people who, I know a very good architect friend of mine who does her architecture during day to earn her living. But at the end of the day, she goes and teaches youngsters, right, from the slums, etc. So it is, I think, the moment you give up the idea of either or, then it becomes far more flexible. So that compromise doesn't have to be that I only can do chartered accountancy or PhD or science, and there is nothing else that you can do. You can do it every day. You can do it at the end of the week. You can do it once a year, or you could do it after you're finished doing your responsibility.
Okay. Yeah. So have you got any emails, Kiran?
I haven't checked it. Let me check. Not yet.
Not yet.
Yes.
Maybe they'll write to you privately.
Yeah. But we can ask any of the scholars, Runal, Anisha, Arti, there are all these scholars over here. Samiksha, Saili, Sonam, Shreya, Vandana. Anybody? कोणाला काय प्रश्न विचारायचे आहेत का?
Yes, sir. Hello.
Kanchan is asking.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Kanchan.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sir, my question is related to the education about the PhD. As I am a PhD scholar, I completed my Institute of Science, but I am not sure it is my passion or not. Okay. But then I like to do the experiment and innovate the new things. Therefore, I took the admission, I clarified the examination after interview, and start doing my PhD. But there is the financial problem like that we are not having any funding and anything related for the PhD. So that purpose, can we do some more things?
Kanchan, I didn't hear the question. I understand that there is a financial problem in doing the PhD.
Yes, and lots of girl students having the same problem during
Yes.
the PhD because they don't have any funding. And at last, what they do, they just give up on their studies.
They give up on their own.
Yes, and for that purpose, for example, I am a PhD student, so I am working on a project called as a photocatalytic thing, which is useful for the study. It is not like we can't do it only on the paper. In practical purpose, it is also useful. That means it is applicable in the day-to-day life to degrade the hazardous materials, wastewater treatment. Okay, so it is applicable in day-to-day life. For that purpose, we actually try to approach to the different industries for the project. But I think due to the coronavirus and something problem, it is not happening. So it is not only financial; it is also depressing for the student to continue their study.
Yes.
So they come to the point. So that is my question. So how to deal with that?
Yes, Kanchan. So one of the things I was doing some work on Infosys, and all over the world I had done interviews with people. I'm just giving you a quick incident so that you understand. And all over the world, people who worked for Infosys in Europe and US said that Infosys does not provide work-life balance. So I came to India and asked one person in Infosys, what about work-life balance? So he said, look, from the time you're born till age 20, your father provides for you. From age 20 to 60, you're working. And from 60 to 80, you're not working. So 40 years you're working and 40 years you're living life. So the way to think about this, Kanchan, is not to be depressed. Remember that you're going to live for at least 70, 80 years. This is 1 year out of 70 to 80. So once you get that perspective and say that this year will pass and then I will get my opportunities, you will feel slightly better. You'll feel at peace because it's not going to last for 80 years. It's just 1 year out of 80. Once you get that perspective, you feel much more at ease. Corona is not going to be a permanent condition, right? So once Corona goes, you're able to pursue what you want to pursue. Anybody else?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Vishal, tell me.
Yes, sir. I wanted to know, sir, when and how you realized that you love mountaineering, sir. Also, today is International Mountaineering Day, sir.
Oh, lovely. Thank you. Thank you,
Day,
Vishal.
sir.
I didn't realize that. Fantastic. So one slight distinction I want to make. I'm not as much a mountaineer as much as a rock climber. There is a slight difference. Mountaineering involves climbing mountains which are many thousand feet. Rock climbing can involve climbing just 15 feet. So if you look at the three disciplines in rock climbing, one is speed climbing, one is lead climbing, and one is bouldering. Bouldering means climbing a rock which is just 15 feet tall, not more than 15 feet tall. So we must make a slight distinction between rock climbing and mountaineering. I realized this in 1977. My sister was in this college called Ruya College.
Same, sir. I am from Ruya College.
And she said, you know, Bhai, I'm going to Kalsubai. And I said, will they allow brothers to come? She said, I'll ask. So she asked permission. They said, okay, we'll let him come. And I realized that I was the first or the second to reach the top, which is Kalsubai is the tallest peak in Maharashtra. Yeah. And I became addicted to it. So then I did a formal training course in rock climbing. There was a little bit of a gap when I joined advertising. The timings weren't right. But around 1995, I kind of went back into rock climbing and bought all the equipment. About 5 years back, I actually started training seriously. So today I climb better than I climbed 20 years ago. Because there is better equipment. We didn't have shoes, for instance. Rock climbing requires a very specialist shoe, which is very tight and has this thing called sticky rubber under it. And so it allows you to stand on tiny holes and things like that. So that has happened only in the past 5-10 years for me.
Okay,
Vrishali,
sir,
do you
sir,
do?
I love trekking once and all, but I don't get the time to do. So
Yeah.
I will try often to go here and there and do trekking.
So you're in Mumbai?
Yes, sir. I'm in Ambernath. I stay in Ambernath, sir.
Okay.
Sir, do you
Yeah.
organize rock climbing programs and all?
Yeah. So there are multiple organizations. There is Explorers and Adventurers. You can look it up. There is Giri Vihar. They all have every December, January. They have courses for starters. You should attend one or two because these are only on weekends. So 3 weekends, three outings on 3 weekends, and the final outing, they take you to climb a proper peak, rock climbing peak.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Roshan.
Any more questions coming in?
Good morning, everyone. Sir, I have one question. My name is Rekha Rajput.
Bol.
How we can live medicine-free life or medicine-less free life?
One of the recent findings of science is that there are 2 or 3 things that matter and which we have modern civilization has neglected. One is breathing properly. So if you want, there is a beautiful book called Breathe. If you Google it, you'll get it. Try and read that. So breathing properly is one of the habits that we have abandoned. The second habit is sleep. So we have been told that, so and so leader, that Margaret Thatcher used to sleep only for 3 hours or 4 hours. But there is another book called Why We Sleep. If you read that book, you'll realize that in the long term, it harms you. So medicine-free life, one is breathing properly, second is sleeping properly, and third is diet. So I always say that I will follow only that science which has been tested over 1,000 years. And the only science of life that has been tested over 1,000 years is Ayurveda. So in Ayurveda, there is very clear guidelines. For instance, it says that there should be a 14-hour gap between your last meal and your first meal. So from the time you have your dinner to the time you have your breakfast. So there should be a gap of 14 hours. These are very simple. We think we know breathing, but we don't. All too often we breathe through our mouths. We do not use our stomach well in breathing. We don't sleep on time. The ideal time is 7 to 8 hours, whatever you do. So ideal hour to sleep is not later than 11. And in terms of diet, a balanced diet, a diet that makes you chew more, and it has a mix of not too much carbohydrates, all of those guidelines that are there. If you follow those, you are more likely to have a medicine-free life. And I don't know about whether it will be completely so, but these are 3 very simple things that we have forgotten in modern day life.
Sir, in addition to that, I just want to, if you relate, that air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution is much more in cities.
Correct.
So those are also affecting our life. Actually it is decreasing our lifespan. So how we can हम लोग उसको किस तरह से ये improve कर सकते हैं, या फिर we can make people think that we are doing pollution and we are indirectly affecting our life, but people actually don't think about that.
Yeah, but वो तो अपने कंट्रोल में नहीं है. So what other people are doing, वो अपने कंट्रोल में नहीं है. So if you sleep, breathe, eat well and exercise, those are things you can do. I don't think, I don't know if you're married, but you can't even change your wife. So I don't think it is possible. You can't change your husband. So I would rather focus on things which are within your control. हमारे कंट्रोल में क्या है, वो चीजें हम लोग कर सकते हैं. अभी pollution हम अकेले नहीं घटा सकते. The most you can do is go and live in a place where there is no pollution. But वहाँ भी कभी ना कभी तो होगा ही. So these 4 things, if you can do, breathe, sleep, eat, and exercise well, there is a better chance of surviving even in a polluted environment.
Okay, friends. Now thank our speaker, Mr. Kiran ji, for his very good motivational talk to us. I'm sure we all will adhere to it. Now we start our main function of honoring our scholars virtually. And this honoring and introduction will be done by our past president and trustee. First, Mrs. Sheila Shastri. Later, it will be followed by Mrs. Nandita Singh. So, Sheila, are you ready?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Sheila, for taking all the trouble. And now may I ask Kaustubh to assist you in this. Kaustubh, please, you can start flashing the photographs on the screen and Sheila will be introducing them. Thank you.
Congratulations, girls. We wonder if you are aware that the scholarship awards are dispersed annually on a NEET cum merit basis after collecting, collating, and classifying the applications. We are happy to announce that the WGU Research Scholarship for the year 2021-2022 has been awarded to Rekha Rajput, a 4th-year PhD student doing research in thin film and nanomaterials from the Institute of Science, Mumbai University. This is the 2nd year in succession that she has been selected as a WGU scholar. Other slides of the students have been selected at random from different fields of study. The next award goes to Dr. Justine Daruwala. She is in the 2nd year of a 3-year post-graduation in MS Obstetrics and Gynecology. Next. Dharini Didia is from D.Y. Patil University, specializing in molecular medicine and stem cell technology. Next. Gurdala Sindhe. She is doing 4th-year PhD in biological science from the NMIMS Sunandan Diveshia School of Science and pursuing research in nanoparticles for rheumatoid arthritis. Sharyu Govardhan, a 2nd-year student of PhD in pharmaceutics in nano formulation for treatment of diabetes from CU Shah College of Pharmacy. Purva Bode is from Pillai College of Engineering, specializing in electronics and telecommunications. Saima Sheikh, after graduation from Wilson College, Bombay, Saima is doing her diploma in patisserie. She's specializing in pastry art. Mrunal Posa, she's pursuing her career in microbiology from the Institute of Science. She is doing research on effect of salt on plant growth, promoting factors of rhizobium isolated from fenugreek. Jalpa Jadhav from KPB Hinduja College of Commerce, pursuing her career in corporate law. Delzine Driver, she's from Sophia College, currently studying 1st year in Bachelor of Arts. Rutuja Patil is a 4th-year student of Pillai College of Engineering and pursuing her career in information technology. Anisha Sakhare is a student of Siddharth College of Commerce and Economics, studying in SYD.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Rekha Shah, student from SK Somaiya College of Arts, Science and Commerce. She is specializing in accounting and finance. Priyanka Basutka is a first-year student from the Institute of Forensic Science and is pursuing her career in Masters in Forensic Science. Rutuja Jagade is specializing in accounting and finance from the KPB Hinduja College of Commerce. She's a third-year student. Sonam Otavka, she is second-year student of Bachelor of Financial Market. She's specializing in stock market. Kanchan Pawar is from Institute of Chemical Technology and doing research in cost-effective chemical synthesis of nanostructured transition metal chalcogenides for photocatalysis. Anjali Gupta is from KJ Somaiya College of Nursing. She's pursuing her career for 3 years in general nursing and midwifery. Namrata Mishra is from Maniben Nanavati Women's College and is studying for Bachelor of Fashion Design. This is a 4-year degree program. Pooja Unde is from Datta Mega College of Engineering. She is specializing in Indian Administrative Services, IAS. I once again congratulate all the awardees and wish them success in their future career. I now request my co-trustee and past president, Mrs. Nandita Singh, to now introduce the remaining awardees. Thank you.
Nandita, please take over.
Okay. Nidhi Tiwari, these are PhD students. Nidhi Tiwari, third-year student from the Institute of Science, Mumbai, specializing in supercapacitor energy storage technology. She has published 2 research papers and 2 are under review. Supriya Babar is a student from Institute of Science, Mumbai, specializing in synthesis, characterization of novel heterocyclic compound by using greenery methods. Swapnali Dhage is a student from Institute of Science, Mumbai, specializing in physical chemistry. Amruta Parmar is a student from Sunandan Divantia School of Science, specializing in nanotechnology and doing research in biological sciences. Saili Mandavkar is a student from Ram Narayan Ruia Autonomous College, Matunga, and specializing in microbiology. She is doing research in probiotic isolates and oligosaccharides from different bovine milk. Neelam Ware is from C.K. Thakur College and specializing in microbiology. Deepika Samal is from Institute of Science, Mumbai, specializing in zoology, oceanography. Her study is on the effect of environmental pollution on fish. Neha Sawant is a student from Sunandan Devatia School of Science and is specializing microbial fatty acid. Archana Baraskar is from Institute of Science, Mumbai, and is specializing in organic chemistry. Her research in synthesis and study of biological active benzothiazole derivatives. I hope I said it right. Now we go on to BE students. Saili Totre from Datta Meghe College of Engineering and specializing in information technology. She would like to study Microsoft Azure Cloud. Kajal Shivale is from Datta Meghe College of Engineering and specializing in information technology. She would also like to study Microsoft Azure Cloud. Sakshi Manchekar is a student of Vasant Dada Patil Pratishthan College, and she is specializing in computer engineering. Anjali Webat is also from Datta Meghe College of Engineering and specializing in information technology. The next one is doing her MSc. Samiksha Sawant is from the Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai, and specializing in material science. The next few are doing their BSc. Jayashree Salunke is from GN Khalsa College, and she is an SY BSc student. Aditi Avad is from KC College and specializing in architecture / computer engineering. Rohima Falke is from GN Khalsa College and specializing in computer science. Now we have the nursing students. All 5 awardees are from Women's India Trust. Mayuri Pimpalkar, nursing. Sunita Purohit, nursing. Vrushali Varsulkar, nursing. Prachiti Shinde, nursing. Swarupa Khade, nursing. All these students are from Women's India Trust. The next lot will be the CA aspirants. Devanshi Vanmali is a student of Zell Education and specializing in accounts, auditing, finance, and taxation. At present, she is in the 2nd level. Riddhi Mode is studying at KES Shroff College of Commerce, and she is pursuing her career in CA Inter. She is in the 2nd level. Sonia Navana is from the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India and specializing in accounting and finance. Riddhi Shah is studying at Praveen Gandhi College of Law and pursuing her career in Bachelor of Legal Science / Bachelor of Law. PGPM. Sakina Dholkawala is doing her diploma in post-graduation from Burhani College and pursuing her career in human resources management. Kavya Sharma is studying at ICFAI Business School and specializing in human resources management. The following students are doing their BMS. Aarti Jadhav is from BM Ruya Girls College and is specializing in Bachelor of Management Studies. She is in her 1st year. Vandana Kanodia is studying at Navneet College of Commerce and Science and is doing her Bachelor of Management Studies. Delani Narona is from Wilson College and she is doing second year of Bachelor and Management Studies. The next few are doing the Company Secretary course. Riddhi Shah is pursuing MCom from Mumbai University and is specializing in CS Executive. Priyanka Divecha is studying at the Institute of Company Secretaries of India. She is in the first year. The next two students are pursuing an MBA course. Urmi Desai is from Dalmia Institute of Management Studies and Research, and she is specializing in MBA Finance. Vrushali Thorat is from Ram Narayan Ruya College, and she is doing post-graduation program in management studies. The next are those who are doing MCom. Anisha Santoshkar is from Mumbai University pursuing her career in accounting. The next lot are doing BCom. Prachi Kasawalkar from Lala Lajpat Rai College, and she is doing her TY BCom. Hannah Sheikh is also from Lala Lajpat Rai College of Commerce and Economics, and she is doing her FY BCom. Pooja Kalantre is from Kaka Sahib Chauhan College and doing her TY BCom. Shreya Sawant is studying at Satish Pradhan Dhyanesh College and is in first year BCom. Pooja Gandhi is from MSG SGKM College of Arts, Science and Commerce and studying in her third year BAF. She would like to specialize in accounting. Now we have some miscellaneous students. Anjali Rananavare is from Vivekanand Education Society's Institute of Technology, and she is specializing in computer application. She is currently in third year. Ruchita Rane is from Amity Institute of Biotechnology and specializing in food biotechnology. Neelam Kadam is from Don Bosco Institute of Technology and doing fourth year of engineering.
Last one is Manisha Namde. She is studying at Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya and St. R.V. Ayurvedic Hospital and is in the final year of Bachelor of Ayurvedic Medicine and Surgery. Thank you, Nandita, for introducing our scholars. And just a small information to all of them that our office will call you at that time. Please do come to the office and collect our check. Collect your check. We will call you up and we'll give you the date when to come and collect the check from the office. Okay, now may I request Kashmira Meramji to give her official vote of thanks. But before she gives her vote of thanks, I would like to once again thank all the members of the WTU and also Mr. Kiran for giving us such a lovely address, and also to WTU scholars. Congratulations, keep up and see that you all fly high in the future. Thank you. Kashmira, please take over.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
We thank our guest speaker, Mr. Kiran Khalap, CEO and Chief Creative Officer from Clarion Advertising, for a unique, out-of-the-box, very interesting talk, which made us all think and accept that we are leading second-hand lives and that now we should start questioning our values and our life judgments. Thank you, sir. We thank Mrs. Usha Bhandarkar for introducing our guest speaker. We also thank our trustees, past president, Mrs. Sheila Sastry and Mrs. Nandita Singh for introducing our scholars. All our donors, and above all, Mrs. Havovi Gandhi, our chairperson of the scholarship committee, a past president, and now our coordinating trustee for the successful conduct of this event. Well done, Havovi and your team. Now I shall have a list of donors which were, I think, given to me to thank Mrs. Nandita Singh, Mrs. Shailesh Patkar, who is the husband of Nilima Patkar, Usha Bhandarkar, Neela Bhattacharji, daughter of Sudha Padye, Neena Dinshaw, daughter of Dolly Sagar, Naira Ahmadullah, Nazneen Dubash, Prabha Gupta, Sunita Nath, Aban Irani, and the Time and Talents Club. We trustees, managing committee members, chairperson, and members of the various committees congratulate our WTU scholars and all those recipients of scholarships from WTU for the year 2020-21. Thank you.
Thank you, Kashmira, for a lovely vote of thanks. And friends, I'm happy to say that our president, Gauri Chhabria, has joined our meeting. Gauri, thank you for joining. Would you like to say something, please?
I would like to congratulate Havovi Gandhi, who is the chairperson of scholarship, and her entire team who have taken a lot of efforts in making this very successful scholarship program, as well as scrutinizing all the scholars and making it very apt and collecting a lot of donations. So my hearty thanks, and I really apologize as I was held up in the Lok Adalat. I couldn't join in. Also thank our guest today who has come here, and I'm sure you all had a wonderful program. So keep on doing good work, and for all the scholars, I wish them also all the best for their endeavors. And we Women Graduate Union, even in future, will keep on studying well, and we'll do our best even to give you all much more scholarship in future. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Gauri.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Making it convenient to join. It was a great thing to have you with us. And friends, now we've come to the end of the program. But if you wish to speak and talk to each other, you're most welcome for some time. Thank you.
Havovi, you've done a wonderful job in the present circumstances, because this was a new format for us at WGU. Congratulations.
Thank you, Nandita. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Havovi.
Thank you.
Thank you. It all went very well, I suppose.
Thank you, everybody.
We would like to invite you to come and speak to the members.
I'm thankful to everyone. It's very
Okay.
nice program. Very nice. Very nice. I attend first time. I attend first time.
Okay, Usha,
Yeah, Kashmira.
I would like you to invite Kiran again to our WGU as on one of the, just give us a lecture or a more talk directly, He was absolutely unique, and I really would love to hear him again. I'm sure all of us would love to hear him again.
Yes, I must say the talk was very good. It was wonderful listening to you.
Thank you, Usha Bhandarkar, for getting a wonderful speaker for us. Guest speaker, thank you very much.
Thank you, Kiran. Really, you made
Very interesting. Made us think.
Morning, very interesting. And you really motivated our WGU.
Yeah.
That was our
Yeah.
aim, and we
Yes,
were
yes.
succeeded in having our aim fulfilled. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Do
We'll
come
meet again.
again.
Sure,
Please
sure.
come, accept our invitation again and enlighten us more.
You are our neighbor, Kiran. You are our neighbor at WGU.
Yeah. Every morning and evening, I walk my dog next to the hostel.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Usha, thank you very much once again.
Thank you.
Thank you for your
Usha.
guidance.
Thank you, everyone.